lovelies, it is me, KyCoolz, and welcome back to my channel for an update on my current household, the Chesters. So I've got some screenshots of the things that have happened off camera, and then next time will be a day in the life of for the Chesters. Things have been going really well for the kids. Carly Jane has gotten her grades up, as well as Kaysen. Kaysen is actually a grade A, I believe, which is really good, and Carly Jane is a B. Reese and Ashanti Hope are head over heels madly in love, and of course they both live together with Shari. Now in the middle here, the one with the orange top, the dude wearing the glasses, that is Jermaine, Shari's best friend. Then we have Philip standing up beside her, and then Ryland to the right. So one expected day in the middle of the week, Shari got a phone call from Duke to ask her if she would like to go out to Shamusu, which is the local restaurant. And she kind of was a bit apprehensive. She accepted. They pretty much went along together. He picked her up and they went for a nice spot of lunch. Now, pretty much Duke said, look, I've done a lot of growing up in the last month, and I realized a month after when I left you that I was such a jerk, and I led you on. I'm sorry. I want to start again, and I want to be friends. I don't want to be more than friends. I don't want to be anything less than friends. I don't want to be enemies. I'm not trying to make enemies in my life. I moved from Windenburg because I wanted a fresh start in San Myshuno. I don't want to have any enemies, and at the end of the day, you are still, you're my ex-girlfriend and you're Ryland's mother. I don't want to make enemies out of you, if that makes any sense. So he was really, he's grown up so much, and Shari was really, really shocked at how much he had grown up in the last year since she last saw him. And as I said, a month after he left that night, he literally regretted it. So they got a really nice little seat, a little table by the fish tank. They had some pre-drinks at the bar. Then they went through to more of a formal kind of dining area that they have there, which is a really, really beautiful restaurant. Shari got changed into her beautiful black sexy tight dress, and I can't help but thinking, she was feeling flirty. I attached the screenshot because I was so interested. It was quite funny. She went to the bathroom to get ready and kind of freshen up a little bit, use the toilet, and then she came out, and instantly, as soon as she saw Duke, she was feeling flirty. And this is true as a day, as truthful as it is ever going to be. She was really, really feeling it. The heat between these two was just undescribable. It was like tension. And yeah, I'm not going to lie that there was that fire, that intense sense of longing for one another, even though they'd kind of pre-talked about this before through the bar. I don't know, it's just Duke kind of saw Shari in a different way than he's ever seen her before, as a grown lady, he not just an immature young woman, but a grown up, an adult, and she felt the same way about Duke, So anyway, they were just kind of bantering backwards and forwards about Duke's work, and he's a manager and how well he's doing. And, he's just gone on this new diet, and he's really loving it. And Shari's just talking about the kids and Philip. And she said, look, I'm dating Philip, and he's an entertainer, and he's really nice. And I'm sure you two would get on like a house on fire. So at this current time, Duke's like, I would love to meet him. I would love to come over and, get to know you more and Philip more, So they just kind of had a few drinks, just chilling at this point. And I honestly, my thoughts and feelings about this is these two are meant for one another. I know that they are meant for one another. It's just, I feel like there's things that have gotten in the way. There's people that there's people that have been involved that should never have been involved with Shari's life, like Rick and Travis. But to be honest, she's always tried to find the love that she felt for Duke in another man, which has never been successful. But Philip makes her more than happy than anyone else. Philip just completes her. So she ends up going home and she starts actually focusing on her fitness. You know, she's feeling really inspired about the chat that her and Duke had about, you know, his new diet, and he's going to the gym down in Willow Creek, and he's got like a 12-month subscription pass that he would encourage Shari to get involved with if he would, you know, if she would like to. Because he has a 12-month subscription, but he gets one free, so he offered it to Shari, and she accepted. But as you guys saw in the previous screenshot, about maybe 4 or 5 months later, Shari actually fell pregnant with Philip's baby. It was really unexpected. She felt really sick. She went to the doctor's office to confirm it, and the doctor confirmed it. And also too, just want to mention, side note, she doesn't go to see Rick as her doctor anymore. She goes to see another doctor. But anyway, just thought I'd mention that. So she told her best friend Jermaine. He was really happy. Reese and Ashanti hope things are just heating up there. They have exchanged promise rings. They are promised to one another. And they've been going out on a lot of dates lately. And they're head over heels and literally one true pair status. So literally months pass by. Shari is ready to have her baby. Philip has been more than supportive of Shari and everything else. He's gotten to know the kids, and he's just been there and just been the best. Philip at this stage does not live with Shari. He just kind of lives at his own place and comes over pretty much every night, stays over, and then goes back home and stuff like that. Really great relationship. They have their space, but they respect each other's boundaries and stuff, which is cool. So after little Dante Chester was born, Philip moved into the residence, to the household, and his last name is Burke. So his name is Philip Burke. Now, literally probably half a month later, or no, actually it was a month later, there was this huge fire in the house. It started from the fridge. It literally broke. Philip tried to fix it, but yet there was sparks and it caught on fire. Bearing in mind at this stage, the household funds are probably about $60,000. So they've saved up quite a lot of money, because Philip and Shari were talking about moving and building their own place, because Dante's come, now, and of course they've got Kylie Jane and Kaysen, and currently they've got Reese and Ashanti Hope, so it's kind of like a full household at this stage. And literally, Lillian and Ryland had been over making paintings, and as you can see in the background, they were all the beautiful paintings that Lillian and Ryland made for Shari and Philip, just as a way to kind of welcome Dante and stuff like that. But yeah, they lost everything. They lost pretty much the whole entire house. The insurance literally only paid $100,000, which they still had to pay repairs and stuff like that to live in the house. So they only walked away with literally $10,000 in the bank after repairs and stuff, because Lillian did put a bit of money towards the house to kind of get it back to the original state, or close to the original state. Pretty much this rocked Shari off her feet. This really, really made her feel so sad. She'd lost everything that she'd ever worked for in the last year. She'd been starting fresh, starting from the start. And as you guys know, the whole thing with Rick and her separating really made her have to start again. She started from literally nothing. Okay, so Ashanti Hope is now having her birthday. So we're skipping another wee while and head into the future now. So Ashanti Hope has her birthday, she ages up, and her and Reese have been talking about moving next door. There is this beautiful brand new house that has just been developed next door. But of course, with the whole fire situation, things have been pretty hard with the finances and stuff like that, with Shari and Philip. But of course, they want to do anything and everything to help Ashanti and Reese out. So they actually put a second mortgage on top of their own, and they pretty much end up paying off the house pretty much straight away. They use all the money that they have left over to pay it back. So they've officially moved in next door, and Ashanti and Reese are more than happy at this beautiful house. You guys will see the screenshot in a few more seconds. But, Shari was really, really scared about, Reese leaving the house with Ashanti Hope, because she wasn't too sure if they were going to afford it. being quite young still, and, she was just a bit unsure. So this is their house. This is Reese and Ashanti Hope's house. It is absolutely gorgeous. I did not create this myself. It is on the gallery. Now, I'll leave all the links or the description information down below in the description. Wait, that didn't even make any sense. Okay, so now moving on now to Lillian Chester, which is Shari's mother. She has been really, really sick, really unwell over the last 4 or 5 months. She's been in and out of hospital. Her stress levels have gone up. She's missing Brantley, and things have just been really intense. She's moved out of the old house in Windenburg, and she now lives in Willow Creek, which is around with Shari's area and stuff, in Shari's neighborhood. Duke paid a visit to Lillian, and sort of said, hey, I really miss our book club sessions, because they used to go to book club together. I know this is kind of strange, but Duke and Lillian have always gotten on really, really well. And Lillian got involved with Duke quite a lot, really, after the separation of Duke and Shari. And she got him involved with books and, all that sort of stuff. So that's what they are right now. They're really close friends. And, of course, Lillian is just telling Duke right now that she's really sick, and, she has been in and out of hospital and just kind of catching up with him. And he's like, does Shari know about this? And she's like, no, I don't want to tell her. I don't want to freak her out. She's got a lot on her plate right now with the house fire and with the new baby, and I just don't want to freak her out. But a week later, Lillian passed away in her sleep. And it was really tragic. Pedro, her son, was just absolutely devastated. Absolutely devastated. He literally just can't believe it. His mum has gone, and his dad's not here anymore. It's too overwhelming. It's just too much for him. So poor Pedro's just living alone right now, and, I haven't really played him that much, but I really want to. Back at the house at this point. So literally that's just happened. Lillian's just passed away, and Pedro's just found her. And Duke got the phone call from Pedro, and he was trying to get hold of Shari, but she didn't pick up the phone, and it was just too much. So he literally just rang the first person that he could think of, which was Duke. So Duke actually turned up at Shari's house at 10:30 at night, and he said, I'm really sorry, Shari, but Lillian passed away in her sleep, and I wanted to come over here and tell you that in person rather than over the phone. And, of course, she was just absolutely beside herself. Philip was putting the kids to bed, and of course the kids were like, what's wrong with mummy? Is she okay? And Philip's like, yeah, she's okay. And then of course Philip found out, and of course it was just so sad. But anyway, so the funeral happened, and Shari's still grieving for the loss of her mother. She just cannot ever she has blamed herself, because there was that time where Shari and Lillian had that time apart where they kind of didn't speak to one another. She blames her freaking self every day for not getting to know her mother more. So, it's something that every day she is literally still coming to terms with, and she's been in counseling for this and therapy to get help for this. So as you can see right now, this is Shari and Philip's brand new house. Now, I shouldn't say this is their brand new house, because they currently are renting it. So they have a landlord. Currently, they are getting a house built in Newcrest as we speak. And Philip actually got a huge bonus at work, so they could afford to move into a bit bigger house, This is Carly Jane's room, and then Kaysen and Dante share a room next door. Dante has aged up to a child now, so as you guys can see, things are getting along pretty well. Now, at this point in time, I should have aged up Carly Jane and Kaysen. But they will be aging up they would have aged up by next update, which will be a day in the life of. So, yeah, I know it's kind of a little bit, the times are weird. Dante's aged up to a child. Shouldn't they be teenagers? Yeah, I know. So Ashanti Hope and Shari have really been working on their relationship. They've just been distancing themselves a little bit too much. They've got so busy with their new lives and stuff like that. They really want to make time for one another. So they went out to the coffee shop next door. which is a brand new coffee shop that has just come up. And Willow Creek is actually starting to be more vibrant. You know, there's more cafes and bars coming up, which is really cool. So they went next door to the, I think it's like the Park Cafe, which is really popular in summer. Oh my goodness, iced coffee is the best there, apparently. Well, that's what Shari thinks. So, you know, family life has been going on really, really well. You know, the kids are doing well at school. Philip's doing well at work. Shari is enhancing her painting every day. She's getting better at it, you know. She's learning new skills and she's gaining more in the cooking as well, which is really, really cool. So Shari has now gotten back into the swing of things. You know, she wants to join the gym and she's taken up Duke's offer for the 12-month subscription to the gym. So, you know, Duke and her are kind of gym buddies at this point in time. But, you know, she has had a little bit of stumbles along the way. She has fallen off the treadmill a couple of times. There was this one time she fell completely flat on her face like a pancake. And Duke literally had to give her first aid because she had a big cut down the side of her face. And she's just thanking Duke so much for that. She's like, thank you so much, Duke. I feel like such a klutz. I am still working on my treadmill skills. You know, I'm still working at that, you know. And he's like, don't worry, you were perfect. You know, you just keep up with those skills and keep going. So he's been really, really a positive person in Shari's life, especially with the passing of her mother and things like that. So Shari is currently at the computer right now. She's been doing some blog work, you know, social media work, promoting and stuff. And she's put up this picture of her and Duke when they were younger, just as a temporary measure. She wanted to just kind of reflect back on the old times. And, you know, she's been thinking back to the old times and she's really started to think, I really miss him and how we were. Like, I miss me and him together. I miss it. And something like that you don't just forget about. You know, your first true love, you don't just forget that by any means. So Shari decides to go out one night to the San Myscino karaoke bar. And I know she's never done karaoke before in her life, but it's something new that she's always wanted to try. And so she decides to head down with Duke and they have some really great songs. As you can see, this guy in the middle is just totally like third wheeling, right? He's just standing there like, what is going on right now? So they decide to do a bit of karaoke and they are singing level 1 at this point. You know, they're not very good at all. They, you know, got some crowd, you know, boo-hooing them at this time, you know, telling them that they're not good enough and that their voices need major work. But they, despite that, they still sing and it's almost like they never really kind of had any time apart at all. It was just such a really... I don't know, for me, like playing my current household, just reflecting back, it's like they were young again, you know what I mean? So just the feels, man, just the feels. So they decide to go for a couple of drinks at the bar, nothing too major, like by any means. I think they just grabbed a couple of drinks and they went back to sing. And it was really, really cool. I think Duke did a solo performance and Shari was watching. She was like cheering him on. I absolutely love this picture. Oh my goodness, I love this picture. The way that the light is reflecting on Shari's face and Duke. I just love this picture. I think it might be the thumbnail even. But I think this might be the thumbnail, actually. I love her. She looks so good. I love that pink top on her. She really suits that makeup as well. Just everything about her, just totally obsessed with. And I'm not ready for her to age up to an elder by any means. So here they are having a couple of drinks. And Shari brought the first couple rounds, then he brought the next, I think. So they had probably about 4 drinks. So, you know, they feel a little bit tipsy and a little bit kind of, you know, happy, I guess. More happy than what they normally are, you know, just a little bit, you know, the alcohol's starting to kick in a little bit. So yeah, there we go. Duke's back for another round of singing. And yeah, it's just going really, really great. The night that they went out, Philip actually was supposed to go out with one of his friends, but Shari was like, last minute, is it okay if I go out? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. So she went out with Duke because he actually invited her. He was like, oh, you know, it's karaoke night. Do you want to come out? You know, a couple of workmates are going out. Let's hit the town. So they go hit the town. And there's this screenshot coming up soon that I absolutely am obsessed with. I think it's this one. This is just my favorite. I actually think this might be the thumbnail, but you guys can see, just like look at their faces. Like Shari's kind of a little bit embarrassed, like a little bit blushing. I'm guessing. I'm guessing that she's blushing. But all of a sudden, without me knowing, I was just kind of looking around the area, just looking at the beautiful world of San Myshuno, and I came back and Shari was blowing Duke a kiss. I know. I didn't even have any control over that. I didn't tell her to do it. She did it herself. Then all of a sudden, Duke was like giving her a hug, and then of course things just progressed from there. Now bearing in mind they've had a couple of drinks at this stage, so you know they're not exactly sober. So they're in one of these little karaoke kind of portal like rooms in the karaoke bar, and I just bumped my pop filter. I'm sorry guys. And so you know they're away from everyone else, and It just got really intense real quick. They're obviously flirting backwards and forwards and just getting a little bit, heated. Shari was just like, maybe we should get out of here. And he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe you should go home. So they go out to the street and they literally locked arms, and that was that. The rest is literally here in front of you on the screenshots right now. So pretty much the night ended with Duke saying, look, I really need to get going. Thanks for a great night. I'll talk to you soon. So pretty much he left, and she just kind of went wandering around the local area, and I love this screenshot. I love it. But pretty much this is all that has happened so far in my current household. So right now her and Duke are kind of back into the romantic kind of stage. The next day, actually, no, not the next day, that night. So it was early in the morning. She went for a cup of coffee, and she was literally just like, what have I done? What have I done? So anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this update of the current household, the Chesters here. Next update will be a day in the life of, kind of walking through a day in the life of my current household, the Chesters. I love you guys all so much. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see all of you beautiful lovelies in the next video coming real soon. Bye, guys.